I've got all these boxes and I'm going to be turning this rather sad old seen better days basket into a storage unit for my newspapers that I use next to my fireplace. So as you can see, the whole base has come off, so that's the first thing that I'm going to be making to attach to the bottom of the basket. I'm using one of the large skewers to just start it, so to just roll, so I can get quite a nice tight roll. And as soon as the skewer gets to the position where it's going to be rolled in, I'm just going to pull that out. And then continue rolling. So I've got quite a nice rod now. And I'm going to just make a few of those so that I can go around the basket like that. To attach the two pieces, I'm just inserting the one into the other. I'm just using hot glue to glue this down. So there's 3 pieces. So gluing the first one. Once you've got enough of them, then you're going to just band them so that they're going around your basket. So you get a bit of a circle going. I've got my circle made, and now we're going to move on to the next step, or I'm going to be cutting out a circle out of a large piece of cardboard for the base of that, so I can glue this to that. For the bottom of the basket, I'm measuring the diameter, which is 35 centimeters, and I'm going to cut out a circle of the cardboard. I'm going to be using my big compass to cut out my circle here, and I'm cutting it out at 17.5 centimeters. I'm just cutting my circle out with a sharp steak knife. I find it works very well on the cardboard. So I've got the circle cut out, and I've just measured to see the piece of newspaper one that we made, and everything is fitting quite nicely. So now I'm going to take some more cardboard boxes, cut them to the size, but leaving the space at the bottom here where the ridge is. So I'm going to just measure the cardboard now to go all the way around. To make the cardboard curve around the basket, I'm taking a rolling pin, and I'm just going to be taking it and rolling the cardboard so that it can collapse nicely into the shape that I want. So that my cardboard has got a nice curve to it. I've got all the cardboard onto my basket like that, and now I'm going to paint all these pieces Mars black. Because this basket has got a ridge on it, I'm only taking the lining up to there, because then I'll build this one with cardboard afterwards. To line the inside of the basket, I'm just using some cereal boxes, and then I'm going to just glue them all the way around with hot glue until the whole thing is covered. I've measured the height of what the inner box lining that I want, and now I'm going to just trim the whole box down. I've got my 2 pieces of cardboard to make the inner box, and now I'm going to paint those all with Mars black. So what I'm doing now is I'm measuring the diameter of the box So my diameter is 30 centimeters. So I'm going to be cutting out a circle. So I'm going to do the radius of 15 centimeters, and I'm going to be using my very large compass to do this. So I'm going to just draw my circle onto another spare piece of box, and then before I place them all in, I'm painting everything with Mars black. The next thing we're going to do is I'm measuring the diameter of the basket, which is 38 centimeters on the outer rim. Now we're going to measure the distance on the inner rim, which is 31 centimeters. So now I'm going to be cutting a circle. So now I'm going to be cutting those measurements onto my box and making a ring. So I've got my two circles marked. So that's the 38 centimeter and that's the 31. And now I'm going to cut the whole piece out so that I've actually got a ring. I've got the ring cut out and I've just placed it on the top of the box, and I'm going to be painting that Mars black as well. And the next thing I'm going to do is for the sides, going down on the inside and on the outside, which is obviously this side, I'm going to be cutting out strips of cardboard. And the width of the cardboard I'm going to be using is 6 centimeters. So I'm going to cut out quite a lot of strips so that I can surround the entire ring on the inside and the outside. For the pieces that I'm going to be putting around the side of the 6 centimeters, I'm just taking my whole piece of card and going to paint it all black. So I've got all my pieces lined up on the floor to paint in Mars black. I've painted all my pieces and now I'm just waiting for those to dry before I glue them all together. All my pieces are dry now, and now I'm going to start assembling them. To assemble them, I flip them over and I'm going to be putting a bead of hot glue all along here, and I'm going to be attaching the plate with the black side facing outward onto the piece of cardboard like that. I'm doing it in very small sections at a time because I've got to hold it as you turn and glue. So I'm just doing tiny sections. Like that. To connect my cardboards together so I've got a nice smooth transition between, I'm just taking a spare piece of cardboard and I'm going to be gluing that on with hot glue to close so that there's no gap in between them. So I've just slid the basket inside the casing that we just made, and now I'm going to be working on the inside. So I'm going to be gluing the lining to the inside of the basket now, and once again I'm using the hot glue to do that. At the base of the box where it pretty much laps over, I've just folded that so that it will make the circle to go around, and I'm gluing that to the bottom. I've got the lining all glued inside my basket, and now I'm going to take the center piece that we cut out and glue that in as well. So the inside is now completed. Now that I've got the whole box together, it's time to work on the lid. So I've got my spare piece of cardboard marked off at 6 centimeters, and I'm just using an X-Acto knife to cut that. So I've got my strip cut off, and now I'm going to start on the inner ring. So I'm going to take the inner ring like that, and the same as with the other one, we're going to just glue this on the inside like that. So from some of the scrap cardboard I've cut 1 centimeter by 4 centimeters, which are going to be the reinforcements for the top when I'm gluing the ring together. So I'm going to be gluing it on in very small sections so that I make sure that it actually sticks on nicely. So and then on each section that I've glued, I'm taking one of the little pieces and gluing it to both sides. Once again, I'm going to be joining the pieces together like that with a small piece of cardboard. I've got the inner circle completed now, and I'm just going to check to see that it fits properly before I move on to the next step. So I've got the lid on and it fits rather nicely. So now I'm going to work on the outside ones. But before I work and glue this one on, I'm actually going to paint my pattern and design that I want on here. For my design, I'm going to be going from the top down by 7 millimeters, and then the next line I'm measuring it 1.5, and I'm going to be demonstrating how to paint the pattern in iridescent blue because the gold is very, very difficult to see on the paper. And what I'm doing is I'm joining the pieces of paper together so that I've got a continuous line of the pattern. I'm painting my whole design in gold. So the design that I'm going for is a very, very easy, simple design. So just holding your brush at pretty much a 45-degree angle, you're just going to draw a tiny little line like that. And then moving on to the center line, doing another one, and then another one, and then one underneath. And then going next to it on the center line again, just another small little piece like that. Do one more, one at the top, on the side, so they make like little diamonds, and then one to the side, so they look like that. On the front of the box I'm going for a very simple design over here. I'm only painting some bamboo. To paint the bamboo I'm going to be using a flat brush, and this one is a size 12 and it's called a flat shader, so that's what I'm going to be using to paint my bamboo. If you'd like to see how to paint the bamboo, I'll leave a link in the description box below. I finished painting the bamboo and I've finished painting the side pieces as well, which look like that, and now I'm going to be gluing them onto this side all the way around the outer ring of the circle. I've got the outer ring onto my circle, and now I'm going to be gluing it onto the top of the whole basket. And now the last thing I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be gluing the ring onto the base of it. My storage container is now completed, and now all I have to do is fill it with the newspaper. As you can see, it takes quite a lot of newspaper, so I'm very happy with the way that turned out. And then we'll loose newspaper lying on the floor to start the fire.